Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you all are doing just fine. Today we are back with some more Albion content. So, got a little bit of a just casual farming session again, On and about, figured might as well make a little bit of money while I'm here. As always, if you're interested, check the description of the video for the guild Discord. If you're new to Albion and you're looking for a nice, friendly community to help you learn the game a bit better, which is very challenging for some new people, then I cannot recommend the guys in the guild more. So, hope to see you there, and hope you're enjoying the content. So, today, we are going to head up to Ennis Mons on the map, close to Limhurst. So, I have, right here, if you were curious about that, because it can be quite lucrative for some resources we're looking for. So, we're going to go ahead and pop our pork pie, and we're going to get harvesting. So, as of recently, I've been trying to, learn the game a little bit more, get a little bit in depth with the economics and the politics and all that good chicanery. And I found an app that pretty easily relays all of the prices of what goods are going for in all the different 5 cities. And all of a sudden, when I was selling a couple of days ago, I realized that tier 3 chestnut logs, for some reason, they were going hot compared to what I, at least thought that they were usually selling for. And I checked the app and found out that I can make even more money with them if I take them up to Fort Sterling on the map. And for those of you who don't know, Fort Sterling is, the main city of the snow area up here. So, popping a pork pie and getting a crap ton of these, it's a quick way to turn an easy profit. And last time that I did this, I, for like a goddamn wolves, for like a 30-minute gathering session, I ended up walking away with close to 2K. So, well, compared to the average, 90,000 to 1K. I was getting down for all my gathering in Limhurst. Yeah, that was a great deal. I lie. It was closer more to a 45-minute gathering session. So, so you know what this means? With that, I might have completed the Adventurer's Challenge chest. All right. Let's see what shenanigans we pull. Wow. That is some good money right there. What is this? This is 100. Good lord. Well, with that chest we have made just a little bit of money, so our haulings today might be just slightly inflated, but, just keep that in mind. Yeah, the Adventurer's Challenge chests have been slightly good to me, so. So we will get on with the chopping away. Honestly, I don't know what goes on in the middle of Ennis Mons. I'm sure I will probably find it out one day. All I know is that it's an unrestricted PvP zone, so we are not going to go in there. Yeah, but what I like a lot about Ennis Mons is this little half of the map up here is just rich. Actually, I should say this top corner up here is rich in T5 hide and T5 wood. This area right here, a little bit towards the exit, is rich in T4 wood and T4 hide. So it is a pretty easy place to come farm some of the higher up tiers of lumber and hide. And it's only 2 zones away from Fort Sterling, so. making the making the trip over to the city is not the worst. And with the excess money you gain from your surplus in Fort Sterling, if you are lucky enough to have an island, you could buy your way back to your island, and then for me, just easily for free get back to Limhurst. But if not, I'm sure it's not the worst trade route to bounce back and forth between. So yeah, I have. I have found that it works quite well. I've kind of taken these tier 3 tree spirits a little bit for granted in my resource gathering habits the last few weeks, but now that I know that tier 3 logs can actually give a little bit of a profit, I'm like, well, all I see is free real estate. So I hope life is rolling along for each and every one of you. God, is it already? Are we already almost done with January? Feels like the new year just freaking started. Already a month into my classes for my final semester, and it's interesting. It's interesting to say the least. Good God, a lot of T4 stone here. You know, it's not as easy as I hoped it would be, but one final push. Am I right? Once you get that scrap of paper that says, congrats, you are an adult that can work in modern society. That's what it's all about, right? Checking that box, as my parents repeatedly tell me. I'd like to think life is a bit more than box checking, but it seems closer and closer to that as my experience in the adult world grinds on. But and I say experience in the adult world. I'm only 23, so yeah, I'm still gaining my perspectives on life, but hopefully we're able to make something else out of it. I'd like to work one day at a national park or something akin to that, maybe out in Yellowstone. Because heaven forfend I end up in an office job. God, I worked a summer internship a semester or two ago working for an environmental consulting company. And, it was a great experience, fairly decent pay and very generous. But, God, I could feel my soul just leaking away as I just sat in the office working on a mapping program for like 8 hours straight a day. Well, I shouldn't say 8 hours, but 5 to 6 hours a day. It was not what I was looking for in future careers. So it's interesting, but you know, unfortunately, that's where the money seems to be in my field of work. If I haven't mentioned it, I'm going to school for an environmental science degree, so consulting seems to be where, a lot of the money is, and less so the actual, science. From my research, it depends on the state that you're in. Some states pay a lot better, but like the actual on the ground, like field scientists and field biologists that I'd be looking to be, get paid a pittance compared to, big name consulting companies that, suit and tie and all that stuff. And that's really not how I want to live, but, for what I want out of life and the economic security, the question becomes, well, is that worth it? Is that, Oh, hello, hostile player on an ox. That's a unique sight. Something tells me he might want to flick it back to friendly, but So yeah, that's where I'm at the moment. But first things first, work on getting through school. When I feel like gaming, record some videos as a side hustle. Who knows? Maybe YouTube will turn into something one day. I wouldn't mind gaining a steady income, but or maybe not a steady income, but a small side income from a channel. But, yeah. Just love it when people leave out perfectly good hide. Yeah, so if you're in the Limhurst region, I could definitely, not recommend this more. Just the sheer abundance of resources in Innismond. Maybe even a little bit Rowanwood, which is the region above this, but yeah, no, it's spectacular. Oh, there you are. Okay. All right. Got some good uncommon hides here. Yeah, we got 2 pine trees, so we are doing well. Curious to see how the faction warfare is going. Oh, good golly, Miss Molly Limhurst. I have never seen us push this far. Sweet bejesus. It's usually Bridge Watch that's, on our doorstep. Friggin' heck. That Fort ain't doing so hot. Sweet Jesus. Okay, Limhurst, you keep going. You keep going. I was about to say I was wholeheartedly expecting us to be at the end of the totem pole again and immediately saying, well, I think I might have picked the losing horse in this faction warfare battle, but you know a happy surprise we will call it. Oh, that's right, I can harvest granite now. Okay, so we should be getting into the tier 5 areas of the map, so love it. 9 times out of 10, I will only find these berries and these cedar trees with only one tick on them. But better than nothing. Same with the pine trees too. But I guess this is a fairly popular spot. Come on, don't aggro on me. I'll be with you too in just a second. Wham, wham. Alright, come on. Get your freaking stuns out. Get your stuns out. Okay. There we go. Now we could fight like gentlemen. Swear the self-ignition passive on this jacket is freaking dope for PvE. You gotta be careful with it though, but with some of the nature staff's healing abilities, it kind of balances out. I've tripped myself up a couple times when I aggroed like 5 bears at once when I was not recording. Maybe I was recording. I don't know. But yeah, aggroed 5 bears at once, and yeah, did not plan my healing spree too well there. So ended up getting knocked down, but no big deal. Come on, come on. All right, there we go. So let's see. Got any funny stories to pass the time or to keep myself interested in talking at the very least? Because I for one do not appreciate blind or would the descriptor be blind or just wordless? Probably wordless gameplay. I'm not going to watch that either. So might as well think of something. Yep. So for those of you who didn't know, well, I say those of you who didn't know, like I have a continent-wide spanning audience. Good lord. Okay, well, someone definitely beat me to these resources, but no matter. There's a lot of T4 stuff on the other side of the gorge, but I I did a little bit of time in the Army National Guard here in the States, and let me tell you what. Drill sergeants are some of the most creative people I have ever met in my life. Yeah, so a little bit about myself when I went in. Well, let's just say, as a person, I have been endowed with a relatively large head, which does that compute to any form of greater intellect? Not in the slightest, but the skull cavity is definitely an exercise, and God, that made getting helmets and combat gear that fit very challenging while I was in. But the amount of nicknames that I got while I was I went to basic training at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Oh my gosh, Mr. Brain, the son of Lex Luthor, Chrome Dome, all very funny ones, and you learn to laugh along with it. But I remember so when you get to basic training, there's a two-step process. There's in processing, or I forget the exact word for it, but it's like a holding unit you're at for like a week or two while you get issued all your gear, make sure that you're up to date on all your medical stuff, and finishing off the processing into the force, and then you actually go your real basic training. And my dad always told me before I went in, Kyle, if the drill sergeants don't know your name by the end of this, you've done something right. So my goal was to fly under the radar as much as possible, and not be seen, just be quiet, do as I'm told, and not make that much of a fuss by the end of the program. Literally day one, my drill sergeant's at the front of formation, and it was this black female drill sergeant. I think Drill Sergeant Johnson was her name. Literally pointed right at me and said, her favorite name for me was Mr. Brain. Mr. Brain, you better not mess up, because you are too easily recognizable, or something along that line. You are too easily noticeable. I'm like, dang, there goes my anonymity. But no, it was all in good fun. All in all, one of the hallmarks of basic training is, sure, your drill sergeants are assholes in the beginning, but once you're getting towards the end of it, you start to see the more human side of them, and in retrospect, my drill sergeants were very very cool people when you got to chuckle with them a little bit. But I think his name was Drill Sergeant Riley. Was one of the guys I joked around with. I not joked around with, but had a, because obviously there's still a degree of respect there. But one of the drill sergeants that I at least had slight rapport with. We every other week in basic training, you had to get your haircut. At least with the guys, just get everything shaved off. It was pretty. Private bowling ball, if anybody remembers the skit from Ed's World. But literally, we were all standing outside the barbers next to the PX in formation, ready to march back, and Drill Sergeant Riley comes out to me and's like, "Goldie, take it off!" And obviously talking about my head cover, and by this point, it was the running joke with all the drill sergeants that I had a big head, and so with a a haircut, it kind of accentuated that fact. And so I took off my head cover, and then he gives the most ridiculous facial expression, bends over, and he's like, "Good God, look at that vein!" It's ginormous. Yeah, it was moments of levity like that made basic training. You know, the moments. You know, I'm sure anybody else who's been in the service could tell you that you know those slight moments when the mask slips and you know everyone there you know can act like the human we are. Those are what made it truly memorable for me. Another, at least basic training adjacent story. It was kind of funny, but back when I was a kid, one of the first big games I got into was Wizard 101, and I'm sure a lot of you can you know say relatively similar, but um, one of I mean obviously me being at basic training that was the you know the first major time I was away from home in my life, and so you know I was feeling pretty homesick, and one of those homesick pangs that I had, I'm like, dang, if I ever get out of this, you know, successful or not, the second I get home, I'm gonna go home and play some Wizard 101. Me, the 19-year-old man at the time, wanted to go play Wizard 101, and I just thought that was funny. You know, all in all, how would I rate my time in the military? You know, would I go back and do it all again? Probably not. I mean, the military is definitely, you know, meant for a certain kind of individual, and you know, after 3 4 years now, I have found that I am not that individual. But do I regret my choices? No, not in the slightest. You know, you know, those questions where they ask like, hey, if you can go back and do it all over again, would you? Nah, I don't think I would. It's all a part of that, you know. Warts and all, your mistakes make you who you are. So, you know, if I didn't join the military and suffer through all that crap and red tape and bullshit and just stupid army culture, I wouldn't be the man I am today. So, know the lessons I know today. So, do I regret it? No, not really. But, yeah, definitely if you are ever considering joining the armed forces of well, you know whatever nation you're in, yeah, definitely do some soul searching because I could definitely say, at least for me, I felt like I kind of got swept up in the process of enlisting and didn't really think about it too hard. Because knowing what I know now, yeah, it's definitely interesting. But yeah. Oh boy, we got the 5 bear group here. I'm gonna kill myself with a self-ignition again, mark my words, but I should be allowed a tier 5 hide there, so that's what we like to see. Yeah, just gotta watch their stuns. Oh, we got all 3 of them. And there we go. Yeah, that self-ignition really burns through your health, but it is good at bursting things down. Let's see where we're well, yeah, obviously a little bit inflated here, but yeah, this should definitely fetch a very good price in Fort Sterling. And then, like my inner Samwise Gamgee, I have some potatoes to go harvest from my farm, so. Oh yeah, also, highly recommend if you are considering one of the more physical aspects of or physical branches of your respective military, because you know there are some that are more physically demanding than others. Definitely make sure you are in a better shape than I was before going in, because granted, I was not in the worst shape of my life. I was actually pretty good, but my training regimen prior to enlisting was like 90% cardio. Like I was a spastic swimmer, a bike rider, a runner. Like that was my thing. So when you go in, it's changed now to a different PT test. But when I was in the old PT test for the Army was 2 minutes of push-ups, 2 minutes of sit-ups, and a 2 mile run. And ironically enough, for most people, the 2 mile run is the hardest bit because not many people like running and not many people come in running. But that was all I did. So the 2 mile run was always a breeze for me. It was the push-ups and the sit-ups that got me out, and yeah, that's what I struggled with. You know, because obviously, I see now in retrospect a lot of it was scare tactics to get you to take it seriously, but they do harp on a lot of, well, you gotta pass this PT test, or else you won't go on and you'll get recycled. And good gosh, as I've heard it described, who wants to spend another 10 weeks in the devil's anus? So, oh my God, that played a number on my psyche when I was struggling with the push-ups and the sit-ups as time went on, and good freaking gosh, yeah. When it comes to the final week for the final PT test, to let you move on to your job training or not, you know, I see now that in the end, the drill sergeants and the army in general, they want you to pass, and they want you to move on, because at that point it's been a pretty large investment. um, so they'll give you every opportunity in the world to allow you the chance to pass. So the last week of PT tests, there's three scheduled retests in case you failed the first one, and I failed the first one. Good freaking God, yeah, I remember that morning. That was absolutely terrible. So we got down there in the morning. We started the PT test, and for the first, because the PT tests prior to this didn't count for anything. They were just mock PT tests. And for the first time in my time at basic training, so it went the push-ups, the sit-ups, and the 2 mile run. For my first time at basic training, I actually passed the push-ups. It was for a male my age. It was, I think, 42 in 2 minutes. So I was on cloud nine. I was on top of the world. The sit-ups were always slightly easier for me. So I'm like, oh heck yeah, I got this. Hardest event out of the way. The run wasn't going to be any worry whatsoever. So yeah, I passed the push-ups. We were feeling good, feeling great, and then we got to the sit-ups. And for those of you who don't know, you have to keep your hands interlocked in a very specific way behind your head, or the sit-ups don't count. And oh my God, yeah. So I got down on the PT mat, and I was busting out these sit-ups. And I think for my age bracket, I needed 53 at the time. And I was getting up towards the like the 40 area, and for those of you who have done sit-ups for an extended period of time, like it gets hard once your muscles start giving out. And I'm not gonna lie, I mean, like I was okay with the sit-ups, but I needed to make sure what work I did counted, or else I was gonna be in a bad spot. And I guess my freaking hands were not interlocked correctly, and so I'm at like I was listening to the drill sergeant count me off. It's like 44, 45, doesn't count. Hands interlocked, doesn't count. Hands interlocked, doesn't count. Hands slipped. I'm just like, oh God, I started freaking out internally, and that really only aided in the degradation of my muscle strength. God, it all just fell apart from there, and yeah, I just couldn't bust out the remaining ones because my fight or flight stress reflex took over, and yeah, that was it for me. And that was the most pitiful 2 mile run I ever did. I was just dejected after that. And it was really sad because we got to do a really cool experience after that. Was they bussed us over across the train tracks at Fort Sill to go to a history museum over there for the artillery, because Fort Sill's a big artillery place. And yeah, they brought in a bunch of cool speakers. It was a pretty historical stuff, and I was just feeling like dog crap throughout the whole thing, because in the back of my mind I knew, You know what's on the line here, Kyle. Pass, fail. Do you want to be, sent back to another round of basic training if you can't pull this off? And oh God, it was just terrible. Um, yeah. So when the second retest came around, yeah, just like nope, not gonna let this happen again. And I remember, so I passed my push-ups fairly easily this time. I was getting pretty confident with that, and I it's not that I had lost count with my sit-ups because the second time I counted more over over than what I needed for the sit-ups, but I was worried because the drill sergeant that was grading me this time, he was a quiet guy that wasn't counting it down for me and didn't tell me which one didn't count. So I was worried that like he was like not telling me if it didn't count, which in retrospect probably doesn't make any sense, but my anxiety-addled brain kind of twisted that a little bit. And yeah, so I'm like, Senior Drill Sergeant, did I pass the sit-ups? And he's like, oh, I'll tell you afterward. Go run your 2 miles. So, oh God, that did me in too because now I had to go run the 2 mile, not knowing if I had passed or failed the sit-ups. But somehow, some way, I managed to pull through, and yeah, I passed my 2 mile run, and I went over to the senior drill sergeant afterward, and I asked him again, like, hey, senior drill sergeant, did I pass my setups? And he's like, go get washed up, I'll tell you after formation. Like this man was freaking stringing me along, and so. Yeah, went up to the barracks, got washed up, came back down for breakfast, and looks like we got to pop another pork pie. Yeah, got washed up and came back down for breakfast, and we were waiting in formation. And yeah, my brain's going all this time because I was chatting with my buddies up there, telling them I didn't know if I'd passed or failed, and I'm still waiting. And yeah, my drill sergeant Johnson, who I mentioned earlier, came out like looking all smug with a manila folder in her hand, and she's like, "Mr. Brain, you passed!" And oh my freaking lord, that had to have been the best feeling in my life. you know, Probably unequivocally my proudest moment of accomplishment so far in life was, a couple days after that, they had like the whole song and dance, congratulations, you're a soldier now. And when these drill sergeants who've been your nightmare for the past 5 weeks or 10 weeks, they come around to you and look you dead in the eye, and Drill Sergeant Johnson said, "Mr. Brain, congratulations, you're a soldier now," and shook my hand. And I'm just like, ah. The feeling of pride and success that cannot be matched anywhere you go. That was a good time in my life. So yeah. So like most things in life, the military has its good days and the military has its bad times, And I would not go back and change it even if I could. I got to realize that without this pork pie, I'm going to be quite over encumbered. So maybe only a couple more minutes of gathering, then we'll head on up to Fort Sterling. Or maybe do I port back to Lemhurst to go get the potatoes off my island just so I can sell them as well, and then buy a trip back um, to Fort Sterling. I think that might be what I do. Okay, I think we'll stop it here because the potatoes will probably take up a large weight, so. God, 1.6 mil, that's something to save up for. I'd like to upgrade my island, and I don't want to drop more money, so. Alright, let's harvest my mushrooms. Honestly, should probably use some of these to make some potions. Due to the fact that A, they'll probably sell more, and B, I want to upgrade my alchemic capabilities, because I've been told by members of my guild that tier 6 potions are selling quite well right now, so. Alright, hopefully we got enough space for this. Well, we might actually be slightly over encumbered, or we might be just right. Okay. Is there anything I can drop? Oh, that's a nice amount of gold right there. Oh. Maybe potions weigh a little bit less. Let's go see if I can maybe craft a few, and you know, I'd reckon the tier 2 potions sell for more than the mushrooms alone. So, okay, what is one of these mushrooms selling for by itself? 352, and are these crafted in batches of 5? I guess they are. Oh, okay. Actually, the minor healing potions do sell for less, so. You know, honestly, I probably should craft some just to make some space. Okay, just so I can go get those last two. Let's see. Okay, yeah. You know, probably should just craft all of them, just to get my alchemic skill up. How many seeds did I get? Oh yeah, I have more than enough to replant. Okay, and let us head over to Fort Sterling. Oh shit. I forgot about that. Oh, that's rough. That is rough. Crud. Oh, it's selling for 70,000. I expected a little bit more. Yeah, like that. What do I want to do? What are these selling for individually? Well, my app tells me that potatoes are selling pretty hot in Fort Sterling right now, so maybe we go check that out. Maybe we sell off some of the extra stuff and see if we can get a cheap travel planner. Potatoes. Yeah, they are really not selling well. Okay, well. That is an amount. A holy fetish. That's a name. Minor healing potions. Get rid of the earthworm. Sell the whole thing, please. Thank you. I do need that stew for later. Okay, I'm hoping to... What's this selling for? Oh, that... Freaking stone is not selling well. What is with T4 stone? Why is it just absolutely terrible? That's my only question. Oh, good lord. Okay, I think I want to save the runes. Alright, what does that put my weight at? Still pretty dang heavy. Okay. I do want to keep those potato seeds. Did spend a lot of money on them. Let's see how much a travel planner would cost. Where is the travel planner? Right over here. Okay. Yikes, I think I fricked up there. Alright, well, you know, only one way. And I do not feel like paying 200,000, so let's get on the road up to Fort Sterling. Because I bet this will sell for a crap ton, so. Okay, a lot of people in the U-Wood today. Is there some faction warfare stuff going on? It looks like there's some Fort Sterling people here, but interesting. Gonna be a little bit longer of an episode today, but you know, so be it. At least the trip back up to Ennis Mons is not the longest. And then from Ennis Mons onward. Must be some faction warfare stuff going on because this is a contested region. So I was told by the internet that the moose mount I'm using is probably one of the best for gathering. I forget the reason why. Because I don't know, it feels that has less capacity than the oxes I've used before. Yeah. Maybe maybe that was in reference to it's the best to gather in gankable areas due to mount health, I think, but I could be wrong on that one. But I've liked it as a mount so far. Okay, Rowan Wood, and then there should be a left at Rowan Wood, and that will take us right into the snowy biomes. So it's been the recommendation so far in this game to me to use relatively low-powered gear, you know, to protect from ganking and stuff like that. And you know, I get that, and I understand that. So like tier 4, tier 5, and then start enchanting it a little bit. And that's what I've tried to stick to. But good golly, Miss Molly, has there been the temptation just to, you know, carry on with this level of gear and just keep upgrading it the way I did with the Claymore build? But I gotta tell myself no. Not necessary, not needed, only going to be a waste of your money, you know. This level of money needs to be put towards getting that island up to the next tier, unlocking those farming plots. Oops. Honestly, when it comes to the faction warfare stuff, yeah, well, for one, the guild's based out of Limhurst, so you know I naturally gravitate that way anyway. But you know, I'm just naturally drawn to kind of foresty woodland factions in all of the fantasy games I play. And when I first started playing Albion, Yeah, I guess I just randomly picked Forest Cross as my start back when I first tried it, and yeah, I mean I've been to like the other starts, and I've tried a couple characters in other regions, but yeah, no, it just hasn't felt right to me. I'm a little bit weird like that. Like for those of you who play Smite, with the different pantheons of gods. I mean, obviously it's diversified a little bit since I've been playing it for like 4 or 5 years, but you know, how my buddy originally got me into the game was just like, hey, I I hear you're a simp for Celtic mythology. We got Celtic gods now. I'm like, ooh, you do. Sign me up. And yeah, like apart from like Norse and Celtic gods, like I would refuse to like play any other pantheons for the longest time. And when somebody asked me why, I'm just like, because I don't like it. Because I like what I like. Sure, the Chinese, Japanese, all these other pantheons of gods and Smite probably have some pretty fun and dope characters, but no, I will only play Celtic, Norse, maybe some Greek gods, because that's what I like. Alright, that wasn't too long of a trip to Fort Sterling. Saved us 2K, I'm 200K, so let's go see how much we walk away with. The recommended amount in our inventory, or the expected, is about 400K. I think we're going to get a little bit more than that. How much does that sell for? Is 10,000 combat fame or 18,000 or 1,800 silver worth more? We'll see. Okay. Chestnut logs. Oh, they've dipped in price a little bit. Okay. Maybe not as lucrative as I once thought, but we're here all the same. Alright. This travertine is worthless. What is with tier 4 stone being terrible? Okay. Sell some of those rough logs. Oh, that thick hide coming in clutch. Bet that's probably only in Black Zone Gathering, though. Master's Runes. I think I want to hold on to those. Oh, yeah, the value's coming from the potatoes. I should have known that. I don't know why I thought what I had gathered was worth that much, but, again, we made a good 2K profit, so. Ooh, tier 4 hide, okay. Yeah, I think we could probably sell that. Okay. I'll put the Master Runes away. Alright. Not bad, not bad. Saving that money. Alright, now where is Yon Island Merchant? I require expedient travel back to mine abode. 18,000 compared to 200,000 travel, so I think that's worth it. Alright, and let us go plant some plants. Oh, I was worried there for a hot second. I'm like, what? I know I could probably diversify what herbs I'm planting here, but I want to just fast level my potion making skill. And so far, right now, just getting it to level 10 at the very least. The basic healing potions have proved to be pretty okay for that. Just get all of my potatoes planted out. I gotta make sure I water these this time to get an even higher seed return. I was lucky enough to get enough seeds to completely replace this time. Wasn't so lucky last time. I think I did turnips. No, I did wheat, and I didn't water the wheat. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be all the time we have for this episode. Thank you ever so kindly for tuning back in. I do appreciate your patronage as always, and I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.